Hello and welcome to the introductory video for Workpaper Management 2.6. This release offers a range of enhancements and corrections over Workpaper Management 2.5, the full detail of which can be found in your release notes. Now, for those of you who are familiar with our APS Optimization Program, Workpaper Management sits within the delivery section of the program. This focuses on how to use the APS product suite effectively and efficiently to manage your compliance processes and ultimately add value to your clients. For more information on the APS Optimization Program and to access your free training resources and quizzes, please visit the APS Optimization website via the APS Practice Hub. Now, as part of the Workpaper Management 2.6 upgrade, there are two major enhancements: improved project team functionality, the topic of this video, and improved integration with Virtual Cabinet, covered in the other video included with this release. There are also a whole bunch of general performance improvements, and these are all detailed in your release notes again. We also have the APS knowledge base, and we have a known issues article that's number 19260, and that focuses on any issues or problems that we find with this particular release and ETAs on how to solve them. There has been a functional change to project teams in this release of Workpaper Management. You now have the ability to add and manage team members for Workpaper Management and their rights via the Teams console, rather than having to manage them solely on a project-by-project basis. Now, for those clients who have used the Teams console before for Workpaper Management, you'll know that you could preload some rights, but ultimately you had to decide on a project-by-project basis what everyone had. And if anyone's role changed, you needed to go in and change that per project. What we do here is that the rights and responsibilities are managed at the teams level, so that if someone changes roles, so they move from a preparer to a reviewer, you update that in the teams module, and all projects that that particular fee earner is on as a part of that team will have the right. Adding a preset team to a project will bring in those team roles that you set in the last screen, and you can add additional team rights for a particular team member by just re-adding them to that project. So looking at our screen, you'll see that I have some names that are in black. They are names that I've added on an ad hoc basis to this particular team. And then you see some names that I've added in gray. And I have a team column. That column is new for 2.6. And you can see there that those gray names all belong to team 3. So what's happening there is that anyone that is in team 3 is added to this particular project, but I can't edit those rights. Those rights, as you see them, are only editable in Teams, and I can't change them in that line for this project. Now have a look here. You can see on the screen as well, I have Matthew Bambrick. Matthew Bambrick is a fee earner sitting at the top of the screen in black and at the bottom of the screen in grey. So Matthew belongs to Team 3 in this case. Now his rights as they exist in Team 3 don't change, but I want Matt to have additional rights for this particular project. So real life use case scenario for that. Let's say I have an accountant who is normally a preparer. Say he's a senior accountant and normally prepares and hands it off to a manager for review. But they're approaching promotion stage. They are starting to act as a reviewer on some jobs. What this means is that I can give them those reviewer rights for this particular project without affecting any other jobs. Now, this is available right now. So once you install 2.6, you can add teams to any of your existing projects. Now, if you already have people added to that project, those rights will stay. So you may need to do a little bit of work in terms of clearing out the existing users and bringing in the preset teams, but in the long run, you'll be able to manage those teams better. So it's going to take you a little bit of time at the beginning of this project, but you'll end up with a much better product down the track. If you haven't thought about bringing on teams before, it's now easier than ever to manage those teams properly and effectively for your projects. Now, in addition to the team roles, Workpaper management has also been improved to enforce project team security, taking away the ability to ignore team roles. So some of our clients had mentioned in the past that when they were creating projects, if they had team security turned on, users could just hit ignore and it would not allow any team security or not follow team security. We now have an option that sits in our system and user or subs settings that enforces project teams. So if you are a firm that is using project teams, you can change that setting to true, and that effectively takes away the ignore button. So it means that all projects that you add are going to need some kind of team role. Now, in the past, that may have been a little bit onerous, but given that we now have the Teams functionality or the enhanced Teams functionality, working around people's rights and moving them on and off projects and updating their rights as they progress through the business makes this a lot easier to manage, and it makes it a more useful tool. Now that concludes our video on Workpaper Management 2.6. For more information, please make sure you view our other videos. So we've got another one for this release on virtual cabinet integration, the other feature that we spoke about earlier. Also make sure that you read your release notes, and don't forget to review the APS Optimization Program online. There's a whole bunch of free training materials, as well as some other resources and quizzes that you can fill out to see where your firm is up to. As always, if you do have any other questions that aren't covered by our materials, please don't hesitate to contact one of our APS consultants. Thank you.